Hey guys, this is Sarah and today we're going to talk about spoilers. So recently I watched a video from one of my favorite booktubers, Sam at Thoughts on Tomes, and she was discussing spoilers and how to avoid them. She got inspired by quite a few other booktubers, so I'm going to put her video down below so you guys can watch that and find the other videos that she got inspired by. This is kind of like a chain discussion, sort of. Everyone keeps responding. So what she had to say was really interesting to me. I have a really strange relationship with spoilers. I've been spoiled for quite a few things for quite a few different reasons. So I wanted to talk about spoilers, how that affects people, what I consider a spoiler, and what we can do as a community to help people not to get spoiled for books. When I was younger, I would usually, when I would go book shopping, I would buy 1, 2, 3 books, and I could devour them in a day, each one. Mostly because when I read physical books, I read faster for some reason, so I never had a chance to be spoiled. I wasn't on social media, my friends read different stuff than I did, and if we ever did share something, I would read it first, and then they'd read it, and then we discussed. Like, I would never tell them anything of the sort. Or if I'm mid-reading and I turn around and talk to my friend, she'd laugh and say, just wait, or something similar to that sort, but never really giving me any details. So the first time I was actually spoiled for something was for Allegiant. I had already moved here, so I did not have the option to buy the book as soon as they came out, like I did with Divergent and Insurgent. So everyone exploded talking about that specific spoiler in that book, and I was on Tumblr, the place where all the spoilers live, and it was just there and blatant in front of my face. I totally freaked out, and my grandma actually took the trip to the United States, brought it back for me, and I spent like 4 to 5 months sitting on my shelf because I'd been so crushed by the spoiler that I couldn't bring myself to read it. And then when I finally did, it like hurt so much. And now one of my mom's students is reading it, and every time I'm just like, oh my gosh, I don't know what she's gonna feel like. I'm kind of scared for her, but I've never mentioned that to her. And since then, because I've been so active on BookTube and Goodreads and a bunch of social media, I've been spoiled for quite a few things. But it's not that bad. It's not like parts of the series or books that I'm dying to read, so it hasn't been as affecting. When you're trying to avoid being spoiled, it's a personal responsibility that you take to keep yourself away from spoilers. I feel like as a reader, I can't expect booktubers or book reviewers or book bloggers to not spoil me. If I am looking through Twitter and somebody says, review for The Winner's Curse by Maria Rudkowski, I have not read that, and I click on it and I go read it anyways, just to see what her thoughts are, I have the chance to be spoiled. And I am accepting that as a reader. I'm taking that chance to going and looking at that review. Whether or not it's spoiler-free, I could be spoiled. Something totally random could be something that spoiled something for me. So it is up to you as a reader to pick and choose what you watch, what you read, and everything in between. But I also feel like as booktubers, book bloggers, and book reviewers, it is our job to properly label things and to properly warn people when there could be spoilers. All of my reviews have 2 sections, spoiler-free, spoiler-full. Every time you're watching one of my reviews and a big emotionally comes up right in the middle of my face, if you haven't read that book, stop watching. That is when I'm going to talk about all of the spoilery things, all the plot points, all the character twists, everything. That's what I call it, emotionally. My emotional thoughts means I'm going to whine, I'm going to gripe, I'm going to gush over something, I'm going to fangirl all over that stuff, And I'm probably going to say something that could spoil it for you, because if I'm freaking out or fangirling about a specific plot point or a specific scene, I'm going to talk about it. That's what I do. Again, with my written reviews on Goodreads, the first part is spoiler-free. The second part, again called emotionally, is hidden. It says, this is all spoiler. If you'd like to read the spoiler, you can click on it. If not, you don't get spoiled. That is my job as a reviewer, to help you not make a mistake. If you still want to click on the spoiler part, all power to you. If you don't care about spoilers, go ahead. But I feel like sometimes we overspeak, and especially in some reviews that don't really say spoiler free or spoiler full, and I'll find myself, especially on Goodreads, reading something and I'll realize like this girl is like sharing a lot, let me stop. And sometimes I won't even notice, and then bam, spoiler, and it's not okay. I think giving the correct labels and the correct blocks to help your fellow reader are also important. It is a personal responsibility, but we're also a community. There's a lot of us. There's a lot of books. And just as I would not like to be spoiled, I would not want anyone else to be spoiled. So as a fellow reader, I'm trying to look out for you. And I'm trying to make sure that your reading experience forever is a good one. To me, there are 4 major types of spoilers. 1, plot twist. I hate when someone tells me a plot twist. Example, Allegiant. I hate finding out that big twist, that big thing that everyone freaks over, because then the excitement's gone. So, don't tell me the plot twist in The Kiss of Deception. Don't do it. No. Don't tell me any plot twist in any other series that you know I have not read. If you want to know if I've read something, go to my Goodreads, see my read page, and if you haven't read you don't see that book, don't tell me. Because I rarely even read, like, synopsis, so I'm probably going to be super lost and I'm going to be very angry. Character deaths. I don't want to know before it happens if one of my favorite characters is going to die. No, I don't want to know that. That hurts. And then when I actually get there, it'll be even worse experience, even though I know it's coming. Or I won't even read the book because I know one of my favorite characters is going to die, and then it'll be an unfinished series because I will refuse to read that. 3, a specific character personality trait. Sometimes when you're reading paranormal, dystopian, any kind of those strange genres, there could be something in your character or in the main character that is an extra personality trait that shows up later in the books, that she doesn't have in the beginning, or it's dormant, or it's a mystery and nobody knows what it really is. Any of those types of things, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I want to be surprised. I want to buy into the mystery. If in the first book she's like normal, and in the third book you tell me what happens in the third book and she somehow ends up having a bunch of powers out of nowhere, I don't know, hypothetically, I'm not talking about a real book. When I start the first book, I'm already going to know she has special powers, so the mystery of her heritage, anything like that, it's not cool. 4, heritage. That is such a big thing when it comes to dystopians, paranormals, type of things. Heritage ends up being a crazy thing. Like, where do these people come from? Like, why is this character so special? How did she get to be this type of person? It's usually something to do with their parents or their grandparents or so on and so forth. I mean, if it wasn't so obvious, I wouldn't want to know what Percy Jackson's dad was. You're not supposed to know that yet. You're not supposed to. It's not something that should be shared. And the last one, number 5, which is the one that bothers me the most, the ending. I don't want to know the ending to a series or a book. I mean, sometimes I admit to reading the last sentence, And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I completely spoil myself, and other times I don't. But I don't want to know the ending. The last sentence is not the ending. I don't want to know how everything resolves. I want to go through the journey and figure it out and see it for myself. I don't want you to tell me that it's a happy ending. And even if it isn't a happy ending, I don't want to know. I want to be surprised. I want to be entertained. I want to be part of it. So don't tell me. For me, Tumblr and Goodreads are the biggest spoiler-inducing places ever imaginable. Goodreads specifically because I love to find books to read. If you guys don't know, I have over 2,000 books on my TBR with no regrets because I love finding so many weird or unknown or good, strange books to read. And something that I did for a while is go on Epic Reads, and with their infographics, they talk a lot about different books, and I would go and see which ones sounded interesting and then look at them on Goodreads and decide if I wanted to read them or if I didn't want to. To decide if I want to read them or not, I would check reviews. Now, ratings are not hugely important for me because if it's interesting, I'll want to read it even if it has bad ratings. I want to be able to make my own opinion. But they are a factor that I count in whether I want to read a book. If everyone talks about how bad it is, then I'll think a little bit more on it before buying it. So I check reviews. We go back to people who don't hide their spoilers. They'll just have it there and it'll spoil me, and then I won't want to read the book. Or even worse, status updates. People who spoil books in their status updates. That has spoiled me so many countless times. Good thing it wasn't with any important books that I wanted to read, or at least high on my TBR. They were just normal. Because if not, I would have died. But be conscious of your fellow reader. That's pretty much what I want to say about this book. Spoilers are bad. Nobody likes them. Everyone has their own ideas of what a spoiler is and what a spoiler isn't. But the important part is, we are a community of readers. And as a reader, we all love to enter a book and go with the ride. If part of the ride is coming, you see it, the giant drop all the way in front of you, you're not going to want to climb on the ride. So, as fellow readers, be conscious of your community. Don't spoil stuff in status updates. If you want to talk about it, write a blog post and then say, share it with whoever you want. But make sure you say, spoilers for so-and-so. So the people who can read it will, and who can't won't. I'm not saying don't freak out. I'm not saying don't fangirl. I'm just saying keep the details to yourself. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know your thoughts on spoilers. What kind of things you guys consider spoilers, because it's a very, very personal thing. Let me know if you have been spoiled. Don't spoil me in the comments. When in doubt, don't share details. If you don't know if I've read the book, don't share details. Just say, I was spoiled for this book in this place. That's it. You can tell me if it was on Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, Goodreads, any other type of social media you guys are on. Let's discuss this together. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!